Hey everybody, Logan here. Looky what I've got. And no, this isn't the limited run version because that would have taken 16 plus years in order to get it and would have been damaged when you got it. Okay, I'll tell you how I really feel about limited run special editions. If you guys have paid attention to the channel, I've pretty much stopped buying those things because there's business practices. I'm just going to say awful business practices, and then sometimes, a lot of the times, you get your collector's edition and it ain't what they promised. So I didn't think I'd be getting one of these, but apparently Crystal Dynamics and Aspire released one that wasn't limited run, and I picked this up at my local game store, and it was a couple days early, so I was like, sure, no problem. And at this price, it's only a $50 price tag. I think if you get the regular version, it's $29. It's a steal. If you haven't played the Soul Reaver games, the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 on PlayStation back in the day, or 1 on Dreamcast, doesn't matter how you played it, fantastic game. So if you haven't done that, this is going to be your chance. So this came out for the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. I'm not sure if it came out on the PlayStation 4. The store only had it on PS5 and Switch. I have the digital version on PlayStation because when it was released, it's like, hey, limited run or digital. So I went digital. And like I said, I originally played this on PlayStation, so I decided to get it on there. But once I saw physical, you guys know me at this point, I had to get it for the Switch. So let's take a look at the box before we open it. It says, celebrate Soul Reaver's 25th anniversary. Experience the epic conflict of Kain and Raziel in original form or with remastered graphics. Centuries after your former master Kain betrays and executes you, you rise again and embark on a relentless quest for revenge. Includes these exclusive items. Standard physical game, which includes Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2, Steelbook, Artbook, Soundtrack, Greatest Hits. That is pretty cool. It's a one-player game, of course, and again, if you haven't played this series, this is a definite pickup. Even if you don't want the special edition, I would say grab the regular one for a measly $30. It is so worth it. So let's open up this bad boy. Let's be very careful. Come on. Come on. Oof. No damage. Okay, good. So this is one of those games, like I said, I originally played on PlayStation, did release on the Dreamcast, and part 2 was a PS2 game. Fantastic series. And I purchased this on PS5 for digital, but I do love my Switch releases, so of course I picked it up here, and I want to see how it runs on the Switch too. Everything I've read says it runs beautifully, so there's been no issues. But let's open her up. I like the box. This reminds me of, I think it's Wolverine 50 from 93. I think it was the second series, and it had the slash. It was Wolverine Top Secret. Well, it's a comic book. For those of you who weren't alive back then, I'm old. So let's take a look. We've got Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 official soundtrack. So Soul Reaver 1, wow. And then Soul Reaver 2. Remember when CDs actually came in these kind of things? Some of you will, some of you won't. Most of the people probably watching this will because they were interested in the original and played Soul Reaver back in the day on PS1 or Dreamcast. So there you go, that's pretty cool. That's a lot of cardboard filler. Wow. Oh, okay, it's one of the long ways. That is nice. That's what I was hoping for, more concept art. Oh, that is really cool. This is one of those oddball series that, you know, I've always liked. And as someone who goes to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, I love seeing video game houses themed there. And I think this year there's Fallout. Before there was Resident Evil and Silent Hill. And I think there might even be a Five Nights at Freddy's coming. But this is one of those I would love to see. I just think it's so cool, and it lends itself to that aesthetic so well. That would be really cool. I know that's out of the blue, but looking at that artwork made me think about that. So this is one thing. We're going to look at this steelbook because a lot of people complained on the Power Rangers Rita's Revenge that it was just an empty steelbook that was a generic size that wasn't designed for the Switch. There was also one that wasn't designed for the PS5 because it could not hold a disc, even though it was PS5 size. So, can this hold a cart? Yes, it can hold a cart, and it says Nintendo. That is really cool. So if you guys were wondering, yes, you can... That is a nice steelbook. So yes, you can store your game cart in the steelbook if that's what you like. Believe it or not, that's a very popular thing for those of you who aren't into steelbooks. Alright, so let's open this. It doesn't feel like there's anything extra in here. Nope, just a cart. But cool that both games are on cart. There's nothing that says you requires a download or anything. Both of them are on the cart. That is awesome. Now, one thing I want to do before I want to end this video, I want to see if it requires some kind of update or patch or whatnot when you're popping it into the Switch 2. So let's find out. Alrighty, here we go. Got my Switch 2. We're going to pop Soul Reaver in. Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain 1 and 2, recognize it right away. No update, no nothing. Bam. Everything right on cart. No download. That's great. So if you guys were wondering... come on. Yeah, if you guys were wondering about whether or not they're both on cart. Both on cart. No day one update. There you go. All right, so tell me what you guys think. Is this worth it? To me, it is. For $50, you get both, and you get all kinds of great, awesome content. And like I said, you can pick it up for multiple platforms. I chose it for the Switch because, yes, if you guys follow the channel, you know I love my Nintendo consoles, and you know I love the Switch. That's what I collect for, whether it's one or two. And no, I do not buy code in box games. I'm sorry, that's not physical. So I'm already wrestling with game key cards, and the only reason I bought them is because they were, well, launch titles. But I've heard some good news about companies re-releasing games that are on game key cards fully on the cart. So when I find out more about that, I'll definitely let you guys know. But there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Hopefully this helped you out and decide whether or not you want to spend your hard-earned $50 on this awesome Soul Reaver Special Edition. Thank you guys so much. God bless each and every one of you. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.